Last couple of days, we've heard so much about blockchain, cryptocurrencies, decentralized. So I want to share with you a different aspect of this technology, if I may. And I want to start with the words of a wise man who lived many years before, who said, "What has been is what will be. And what has been done will be done again. There is nothing new under the sun." And I want to stick to this last part. There is nothing new under the sun. And we're going to relate this to the blockchain technology. So humanity has always found a way to basically mimic nature, mimic the amazing technology found in nature, the engineer, the structure found in nature. And not just in large stuff, like even today, this lovely bird, albatross, and they're trying to find out the engineering, decode the engineering behind it, how it manages to effortlessly fly and adjust it to real airplanes and possibly reduce the cost of transportation, but also how helicopters turn, but also in smaller things, in such things so small that if we had a teaspoon, we could have millions of those. So, obviously, we're not here to talk about teaspoons and airplanes. So we may ask ourselves, how is blockchain basically linked to this technology, to nature in this sense? I will help you out here. We should look within the human body. Again, as I said, now it's something very, very small. We cannot see. To be honest, a few decades back, scientists couldn't even read it. This gave it away. We're talking about DNA. DNA ranks among one of the most biggest wonders of creation. The complexity of DNA fascinates scientists even today. And it's just amazing how this is to be. But what is blockchain? What is DNA, as we see here, had to do with blockchain, or blockchain with DNA? Is there any correlation to this? Maybe. There's some things in DNA that are very similar to this. And I want to give you 3 examples. The cells of our body. The cells of our body are the synchronized distributed ledger, if we can correlate it in a way like that. And we want to see 3 specific examples that illustrate this. So the cells of our body, which we're talking about quite a lot, and especially the somatic cells, contain 23 pairs of DNA strands that basically make up who me, you, and everybody in here are. 23 strands, which is 23, which is a pair, that's 46. It's quite a lot. And let's say we try to take this DNA sequence and the redundancy mechanism and made it into binary code and try to save it in a hard drive. That would take 200 gigabytes. That's larger than Bitcoin's current distributed ledger. And that's from just one cell. So where's the correlation here? Similar. A single client, has the entire distributed ledger of the blockchain. Second example. How many of these somatic cells have the same exact, basically, DNA? Every single one of them. And as you can see, we're talking about quite a big number. Just if we take a hair, just a hair, 5 centimeters long, we'll have about 50,000 cells. It's quite a lot. And everyone has the exact same. What about clients now? Let's take it to blockchain. Clients who have synchronized on the distributed ledger. Every single one of them which is synchronized has exactly the same ledger. Otherwise, it wouldn't be part of this ledger. Let's go to the third one now. How does a cell multiply? Basically, by replicating itself. Whereas, how do we get a new client to be created? By replicating the blockchain. Basically, by downloading the blockchain, by synchronizing on the blockchain. So we've seen 3 similarities. There's more I'll be posting an article on this on LinkedIn, so it'd be great to read up on this. So I think you get the point here. There's nothing new under the sun. Blockchain may have been inspired by one of the most sophisticated technologies found in the universe, which is, we just discussed about DNA. But we're here to talk about disrupting the establishment. We want to see how this relates. And we're talking about a dangerous establishment. This is why we're here, to talk about a dangerous establishment and how this can change. And for this, I want to take you back, not in creation now, not that back. We only want to go back 10 years, not even 10 years, 2008, where everything froze. One of the biggest financial crises in history. Most people were caught by surprise on that, even if we want to say otherwise. We saw big things happen. That's why they called it the Great Recession. So we're going back there where the causes, we want to identify the causes. It wasn't just reckless lending. That's one cause, definitely. But it wasn't only lack of transparency. One of the big causes of this was the problems with innovation, how the financial sector dealt with innovation. But let's go back to the future, that's today, and let's see what we've learned now. We've learned a lot. We basically fixed so many things. We fixed the issues of transparency. Everything's transparent today in the financial sector. We fixed the problems with the fees, the high fees that institutions used to make. We also fixed the problems of liquidity, the low liquidity that existed then. And of course, liquidity is also related to transparency, because if we don't have transparency, we don't know if an institution has a low liquidity problem. So we fixed all this. Obviously, we haven't fixed all these things. And I'm speaking on behalf of mankind now. Don't blame this on me. So let's go back to what we said. There's nothing new under the sun. Basically, if we leave things like they are now, it's basically history repeating itself. And that was just 10 years ago. Imagine if that happened today again. So what if we took something from the past? What if we got inspired from the past and made a different future? Wouldn't that be great? What if we use blockchain to solve these three things we're discussing now in the financial sector? Someone could say, okay, why should I care? It doesn't affect me. The financial market, does it affect you? Why should I be making a step forward? Basically, that's a very logical question. We don't have time. We don't have enough time to care about things like that. But the financial sector is a sector that will affect every single one of us. If not us, our friends, our family. So it's something important. It can affect our lives. And we're talking about a huge sector. We're talking about the GDP, 4 times actually the GDP, not of this lovely small island of Cyprus, not of Britain's, not of Europe's, not of the United States, 4 times the GDP of the world economy. We're talking about 5.3 trillion assets traded on a daily basis. That's the financial market. And probably some of you have checked Coin Marketplace today and you've seen 200 billion. Wow, it's going to happen. Let's compare that to 5 point. It's good. It's going very good, obviously, definitely. Crypto community is very good, and the currencies. But we cannot compare it to this. So it's something very important to actually find a way to fix these problems. So we understand here that it would be great if we could find actually an organization, a single organization that was willing, or more if possible, or everyone if possible, that was willing to do a step forward and actually fix this problem that we find. How? By utilizing the blockchain technology and by solving some problems that exist within this technology. One of these can be solved by creating the biggest liquidity pool comprised by crypto assets, which provide transparency. So there's 2 things here. There's a liquidity pool. I want to skip a few slides because I didn't press the button. So there's a liquidity pool, and we have the crypto assets, the tokens, the cryptocurrency that basically supports this pool. In which way? In different ways. I'll mention 2 different ways. The pool can be used to basically cover what currently financial institutions are doing today, but they're doing it a little bit expensive. They're charging a little bit too much fees. They don't have the transparency that we would like to have. We would like to know if they had low liquidity problems, and we just can't. So imagine a decentralized liquidity pool that we can basically know what is happening. A pool which is shared by the people for the people. The people, the participants of the pool, have the responsibility for the pool, protecting the pool, but also benefiting by its earnings. So that's one way of the liquidity pool being able to help. Now, there's another way. This is going to be interesting. You can also fund different projects, ICOs, IPOs, but we're doing initial coins offerings for this. Why would we need a pool to fund them? Because if someone investigated 6 months ago how much it would cost to actually run an ICO, talking about developing it, marketing budgets, it's gone up at least 10 times. Display marketing, getting into different news, it's gone up a lot. And there's going to be good teams, great teams, amazing teams with amazing concepts, amazing ideas, even development that will not be able to get the funding. This is where the liquidity pool steps in and identifies this and democratically elects these projects, their participants of this pool, elects these projects and actually provides the funding for them. Isn't that great? Having such a big liquidity pool that does that. And all these are only possible only because of the blockchain technology available today, and especially the evolution of blockchain technology that we're going to be seeing in the upcoming months, making the network faster, micropayments permitted, also having lower fees, things that we definitely need to evolve things. And all of this is necessary for a healthy market. There's nothing new under the sun. As a king said, actually this was a king who said it, King Solomon. It was written in Ecclesiastes in the Old Testament. And okay, at the end of the day, it's because he had 700 wives and 300 concubines, he lost a little bit his mind. You can't blame him. But he had seen everything, and he had observed what science today verifies, that we can basically learn from nature, and nature has a lot of things to offer. But the thing is, are we ready to decide if we're going to use these things that we can find in nature? An innovating organization, Trade.io, with 2 early adopters, FX Primus and Primus Capital Markets, are revolutionizing trading. Additionally, half a dozen companies have already signed to ICO on the Trade.io platform, which basically changes everything. The new innovating trading platform supported by blockchain will enable a decentralized liquidity pool at which participants can receive daily distributions. And in just 3 days from now, as you can see in this timer, the pre-ICO will open and participants will be able to take part in the trading revolution with a new transparent market, not with the market we have today. So yes, Trade.io is disrupting the establishment, and you can join the trading revolution by visiting the website on www.trade.io. Yes, we have basically seen that blockchain technology could, I insist on could, have been inspired by DNA, as Trade.io is inspired by blockchain to become decentralized, to basically learn from the failures of the past and build a bright future in the financial trading market. Thank you.